Welcome to another edition of MCAT Strategy. Today we will be doing a second video on how to maximize performance on test day. What's done is done. Once you finish a section, it is history. When you go out on break, make sure you leave that section behind you. Don't think about the questions during the break. Don't worry about how you did, how it felt, and try to avoid discussing it with other test writers because any discussion during break is only going to make you more anxious. You need to let it go and just work on doing what you need to do during the break. In my personal experience, I saw one girl who broke down and cried after the writing sample section, and that's just not a good way to be dealing with the exam because you need, no matter how you feel or how you felt, you need to look forward and focus on the section that is coming up. So during your break, instead of thinking about what just happened on the last section, practice remaining focused on the section that is coming up. Remind yourself of whatever you need to remind yourself of, for the upcoming section. And while you are writing, obviously don't think about the previous sections and how you did. If you become distracted with thinking about previous sections while writing, or you think about it too much during the break and you start this section distracted, then your performance will be affected. So stay focused, and what is done is done. Just leave it in the past. The most prominent emotion that you will probably feel is anxiety. So make sure that you are able to do things that reduce your anxiety and make sure you know what works for you. I personally like to listen to some relaxing music and do some deep breathing during the break, and you need to find a way to control your anxiety because there will undoubtedly be anxiety on test day. So you need to know what works for you in terms of getting rid of the butterflies. So to try at the minimum taking a deep breath before starting the section. There are a lot of other emotions that may crop up and come up during the day, and you must make sure that you don't let it affect you. Emotions like frustration, despair, and panic are some of the worst emotions you can have during the MCAT exam. You have to practice getting rid of these emotions and focusing whenever you start feeling that way. Whenever those feelings start to creep in, you need to grab a hold of yourself and remind yourself to remain focused and put those feelings aside. The next topic I'd like to discuss is going in with the right attitude. A lot of people go in with a sense of fear rather than confidence. There are very few people who go in confidently. Even if you have a problem section, you still need to believe that you can do it. Besides, you never know how it might go because the test is graded on the curve, so you might get lucky that day. Whatever the case may be, you need to believe in yourself for the day. Fear is going to hold you back, and it is the confident test writers that are going to do the best because fear introduces doubt and hesitation into your test writing. So go in with a confident and right state of mind and believe in yourself because as hard as it may seem sometimes, you have to convince yourself that you can do this because if you go in afraid and you have that lurking in your subconscious, then it will affect your test day performance. The next tip is to avoid hurried changes. Make sure you don't make any last minute changes without careful consideration. A lot of you have had the experience of being at the end of a test writing period and you're just looking through and you spot what you think is a mistake and you panic and change your answer, and later on you find out that you changed a right answer to a wrong answer. So make sure when the time starts ticking down that you stay calm and make sure you consider the question carefully, because as the time ticks down and your mind begins to rush a little bit more, you are more prone to make errors, and that includes changing a correct answer into an incorrect answer. Make sure you don't get hung up during the day. Timing is one of the most important aspects to a successful MCAT write. So whether it is a passage or a question, make sure you don't spend a disproportionate amount of time stuck on something. If you find yourself caught up and you've expended too much time, force yourself to move on and fire a random guess if you need to. So make sure throughout the test day that you stick with the pace that you've already practiced, because any changes and any slowdowns will result in you running short on time, and that will definitely impact your score negatively. That's all for this video. Any suggestions, comments, or discussion is welcomed. As always, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, keep on practicing. This is MCAT Strategy, logging off.